The start of a new year is more than just a change on the calendar. It's a chance to redefine who you are, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to step into a stronger, more intentional version of yourself. But lasting transformation doesn't come from dramatic overhauls or fleeting resolutions. It's built on habits, the small daily actions that shape your life in powerful ways. Living a meaningful life isn't about grand gestures. It's about the consistent practice of principles that ground you, guide you, and help you grow. In this episode, we'll explore 10 Stoic habits that can help you reinvent yourself in 2025 and beyond. These habits aren't just philosophical ideas, they're practical, actionable strategies designed for real life. Reinvention doesn't happen in a single moment. It's a process, and it all starts with the habits you choose to cultivate. Let's dive in and explore how these Stoic practices can empower you to make 2025 your year of transformation. Habit 1. Master your anxiety before it masters you. Anxiety is a storm that brews in the mind, feeding on uncertainties, fears, and the countless what-ifs we can't control. For many of us, it's not the events themselves that cause distress, but our endless anticipation of what might go wrong. The key to mastering anxiety lies in shifting your perspective and regaining control over your inner dialogue. Anxiety often grows when we focus on things outside our control, how others perceive us, the outcomes of our efforts, or the uncertainty of the future. By redirecting your focus to what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, you take the wind out of anxiety's sails. It's not about eliminating uncertainty, but learning to navigate it with calmness and clarity. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work. Your mind spirals. What if I forget what to say? What if they don't like my ideas? This anxious thinking pulls you into scenarios that haven't even happened yet. To regain control, pause and ask yourself, what can I do right now? Maybe it's rehearsing your opening line or reviewing your slides. By focusing on what's actionable, you replace helpless worry with purposeful action. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for mastering anxiety. When anxiety arises, bring your attention back to the here and now. Take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground, and remind yourself that this moment is manageable. Here's a practical exercise. When anxiety takes hold, write down your fears. Seeing them on paper often reveals that they're not as overwhelming as they seemed in your mind. Then, next to each fear, write one thing you can do to address it, no matter how small. This process shifts you from worrying to problem solving. The Stoics also remind us that much of what we fear is exaggerated. Seneca wisely noted, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How often have you dreaded a difficult conversation or task, only to find that it wasn't as bad as you anticipated? Anxiety thrives on worst-case scenario thinking, but reality is often far kinder. Finally, remember that anxiety can be a signal, not just a burden. It points to areas where preparation or self-reflection is needed. For example, if you feel anxious about starting a new job, that anxiety might be a prompt to research the company or brush up on key skills. When viewed this way, anxiety becomes a guide, not a foe. Think of anxiety like a wave. If you try to resist it, it crashes over you, leaving you overwhelmed. But if you ride the wave, acknowledging its presence and working with it, you can move forward with greater ease and confidence. Habit 2. Start small, achieve big. When we think about change, it's tempting to imagine a grand overhaul, a sweeping transformation that turns everything around in an instant. But the Stoics understood that true lasting change doesn't come from dramatic leaps. It comes from small, deliberate steps, taken consistently over time. Starting small doesn't mean thinking small. It means focusing on manageable actions that create momentum. Think of it like planting a tree. You don't expect it to grow overnight, but with consistent care, watering it daily, ensuring it gets sunlight, it becomes a towering force of nature over time. The same is true for your habits. Small actions compound into big results. Let's say you want to improve your health. Instead of attempting a complete lifestyle overhaul, start with something simple. Commit to walking for 10 minutes every day. That small habit is achievable, and as you stick with it, it builds confidence. Soon, that 10-minute walk might turn into a 30-minute run, and before you know it, you're making other positive changes, like eating healthier or sleeping better. This principle applies to any area of life. If by breaking your goals into smaller, manageable pieces, you remove the intimidation factor and make progress feel achievable. Small steps also help you overcome the fear of starting. Often we delay action because the end goal feels overwhelming. For instance, if you dream of writing a novel, the idea of completing hundreds of pages might paralyze you. But what if you started with just 100 words a day? In 3 months, you'd have over 9,000 words. The key is to focus on the process, not the destination. To cultivate this habit, start by identifying one small action you can take today that aligns with your bigger goals. Write it down, commit to it, and do it consistently. Whether it's drinking a glass of water when you wake up, meditating for 5 minutes, or jotting down a single idea in a journal, the size of the action doesn't matter. It's the habit of showing up that counts. Think of your small actions like drops of water filling a jar. At first, the progress might seem slow, even insignificant, but over time those drops accumulate, and before you know it, the jar overflows. That's the power of starting small. So as you begin your journey to reinvent yourself in 2025, remind yourself, I don't need to change everything at once. I just need to take one small step today, because with each small step, you're building the foundation for big success. Habit 3. Make time for what truly matters. In the hustle and chaos of modern life, it's easy to feel pulled in 100 different directions. The noise of endless tasks, distractions, and obligations can leave us overwhelmed and unsure if we're truly spending our time on things that matter. The Stoics believed our time is our most valuable resource, and using it wisely is essential for living a purposeful life. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." This powerful reminder urges us to pause and reflect. Are we dedicating our time to things that align with our values, goals, and passions, or are we letting distractions consume our days? Making time for what truly matters begins with awareness. Consider the hours spent mindlessly scrolling through your phone or engaging in activities that don't add value to your life. While leisure and rest are important, these moments can rob you of time needed for more meaningful pursuits, like strengthening relationships, advancing toward your goals, or simply taking care of yourself. To make time for what truly matters, the first step is to define your priorities. What in your life brings the most fulfillment? Is it deepening relationships, pursuing a passion, or investing in personal growth? Write these priorities down and let them guide your daily choices. Next, eliminate distractions and time wasters. This doesn't mean you need to cut out all leisure or fun, but be mindful of how much time you spend on activities that don't align with your priorities. For instance, every moment is an opportunity to invest in something meaningful. Ask yourself, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I spent it? Let this question guide your choices. A practical exercise to help make time for what matters is conducting a time audit. For 1 week, track how you spend your hours, work, leisure, chores, or scrolling through your phone. At the end of the week, review your log and identify where your time aligns with your priorities and where it doesn't. Use this insight to adjust your schedule, allocating more time to what truly matters. The Stoics also taught the importance of being fully present in the time you do spend on meaningful activities. If you're with family, give them your full attention rather than being distracted by work emails. If you're working on a goal, immerse yourself in it without multitasking. Quality matters just as much as quantity. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed or wondering where the day went, pause and remind yourself, my time is precious. Am I using it for what truly matters? By aligning your time with your values, you create a life of purpose, progress, and fulfillment, one intentional moment at a time. Habit 4. Break bad habits. Reclaim your freedom. Bad habits often sneak into our lives quietly, disguised as harmless routines. But over time, they can hold us back, chaining us to behaviors that undermine our potential and keep us from becoming the best version of ourselves. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from self-mastery. Breaking free from bad habits is a critical step toward that freedom. Seneca wisely observed, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This means that every habit we allow to persist, unchecked, has the power to control us. Breaking bad habits isn't just about self-discipline, it's about reclaiming control over your choices, your actions, and ultimately, your life. Step 1. Awareness. The first step in breaking a bad habit is awareness. Often we fall into habits unconsciously, grabbing our phones the moment we wake up, procrastinating on important tasks, or turning to comfort foods when stressed. Take a moment to reflect. What habits are holding me back? How do they affect my goals and well-being? Naming the habit is the first step to breaking its hold on you. Step 2. Identify the root cause. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine someone who habitually scrolls through social media for hours, losing valuable time and feeling drained afterward. Instead of simply blaming themselves for lack of willpower, they could examine the root cause. Once they identify the trigger, they can replace the habit with something more intentional, like calling a friend or engaging in a creative activity. Breaking a habit doesn't always mean stopping abruptly. It's about replacing it with something better. Step 3. Change your environment. Another key to breaking bad habits is changing your environment. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nourishing foods and remove tempting junk food. If you want to stop binge-watching shows late at night, set a timer to turn off your devices or move your TV out of the bedroom. These environmental tweaks reduce friction and make it easier to stick to your goals. Step 4. self-forgiveness. Breaking a habit isn't a linear process. It's normal to slip up occasionally. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, when you stumble, get back up. What matters is how quickly you recover. Instead of dwelling on setbacks, focus on the progress you've made and the next step forward. Step 5. Practice self-compassion. Let's consider another example. Someone wants to break the habit of negative self-talk. Every time they make a mistake, their inner critic says, "You're not good enough." To break this habit, they could practice self-compassion, replacing those thoughts with affirmations like, "Mistakes are part of learning. I'm growing stronger every day." Over time, this new habit rewires their mindset and builds confidence. Step 6. Cultivate new habits. Think of breaking bad habits like clearing weeds from a garden. At first, it's hard work, pulling them out one by one. But as you plant and nurture healthier behaviors, those weeds lose ground and your garden flourishes with growth and potential. Final thought: reclaim your freedom. The next time you catch yourself slipping into a bad habit, pause and remind yourself, this habit doesn't define me. I have the power to change. With each small victory, you reclaim your freedom, paving the way for a life of intention, growth, and self-mastery. Habit 5. Take on challenges that shape. Your growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It's forged in the moments when you step out of your comfort zone and face challenges that push you to your limits. The Stoics believed that life's difficulties aren't obstacles but opportunities. Opportunities to build resilience, discover your inner strength, and become the person you're meant to be. Epictetus put it beautifully. Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Challenges reveal who we are, not by breaking us, but by testing us. They force us to adapt, learn, and grow. Without challenges, we stagnate and never fully realize our potential. Think about a time when you faced something difficult, a project at work, a tough conversation, or even a physical challenge like running a marathon. At first, it might have seemed overwhelming, even impossible. But as you leaned into the difficulty, you discovered new abilities, gained confidence, and came out stronger on the other side. That's the power of embracing challenges. Taking on challenges isn't about seeking out struggle for its own sake. It's about choosing growth over stagnation, even when it's uncomfortable. The key is to start with challenges that are manageable yet meaningful. You don't have to leap straight into the deep end. Begin by taking small steps outside your comfort zone. If you want to improve your fitness, start with a 15-minute walk before tackling a full workout regimen. Challenges don't just help you grow, they also build resilience. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every challenge you face is an opportunity to become better equipped for the next one. It's like building a muscle. Each repetition strengthens you for greater efforts in the future. Here's an exercise to help you embrace challenges. Write down one thing you've been avoiding because it feels difficult or uncomfortable, then break it into smaller, actionable steps. For example, if running a 5K race feels like too much, start by jogging for 5 minutes, gradually increasing your distance and setting a training schedule. By breaking the challenge into smaller steps, you make it more approachable and less intimidating. When you face a challenge and rise above it, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. That knowledge becomes a wellspring of confidence, fueling you to take on even greater challenges in the future. Think of challenges like climbing a mountain. The path is steep, and every step requires effort. But with each step, the view gets better, the air clearer, and your sense of accomplishment grows. The challenge isn't just the journey, it's the transformation you undergo along the way. So, the next time you face a challenge, don't shy away from it. Pause and remind yourself, this is my opportunity to grow. Lean into the discomfort, take one step at a time, and watch as you become stronger, more capable, and more resilient with every effort. Habit 6. Design a routine that works for you. Life is full of chaos and unpredictability, but a well-crafted routine can act as your anchor, keeping you grounded and focused no matter what storms come your way. The Stoics understood the importance of structure, believing that consistency and intentionality in daily life lead to clarity, progress, and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This begins with how you shape your days. A routine isn't about rigidity or filling every moment with tasks. It's about creating a rhythm that aligns with your values, energy levels, and goals. When you design a routine that works for you, you free yourself from decision fatigue, reduce stress, and create a framework for consistent growth. Think of your daily life like a ship at sea. Without a clear course and steady navigation, the waves of distraction and unpredictability can push you off track. But with a solid routine, you chart your path, ensuring each day moves you closer to your destination. To create a routine that works for you, begin by identifying your priorities. What are the non-negotiable activities that align with your values and goals? For some, this might mean starting the day with exercise or meditation. For others, it could be carving out time for creative work or meaningful conversations with loved ones. Whatever it is, build your routine around these anchors. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of beginning the day with intention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Consider starting your day with a moment of reflection. Ask yourself, what is my purpose today? How can I align my actions with my values? This simple habit sets a positive tone for the day ahead. Your routine should also reflect your natural energy peaks and valleys. Some people are most productive in the morning, while others hit their stride in the afternoon or evening. Pay attention to when you feel most focused and creative, and schedule your most important tasks during those times. Save less demanding activities, like emails or errands, for when your energy dips. Each habit you cultivate is like a seed that, with care and consistency, blossoms into something meaningful over time. When distractions arise or life feels chaotic, your routine becomes your sanctuary. It reminds you of what matters most and provides the stability to move forward with purpose. The Stoics believed that a disciplined life leads to freedom, and a thoughtful routine is one of the most effective ways to embody that principle. Habit 7. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your growth, mindset, and the direction of your life. As the Stoics understood, your environment shapes your character. Surrounding yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and uplift you is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward reinvention. Seneca wisely wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." This wisdom reminds us that relationships should be mutually beneficial, a space where growth, support, and shared values thrive. Your circle should act as a mirror, reflecting the best in you while encouraging you to rise above your limitations. Think about your current relationships. Are the people in your life helping you grow, or are they holding you back? This isn't about cutting people out at the first sign of difficulty, but about being intentional with your energy. For example, a friend who constantly complains without seeking solutions might drain your mental and emotional reserves. Meanwhile, a friend who pushes you to pursue your goals fills you with motivation and encouragement. Your environment influences your habits, so choose it wisely. Building a circle of people who elevate you doesn't mean only seeking out those who are ahead of you. Some of the most valuable relationships come from those walking the same path, sharing struggles and celebrating victories alongside you. Whether it's a colleague working towards similar career goals or a friend pursuing personal growth, mutual support fosters accountability and momentum. To cultivate these relationships, be proactive. Seek out communities and spaces where people share your values and ambitions. Surrounding yourself with inspiring people isn't just about taking, it's about contributing. Encourage others, offer your perspective, and celebrate their successes. In doing so, you create a circle built on trust, mutual respect, and shared progress. The people you choose to surround yourself with act like the soil for a plant. Fertile, nourishing relationships help you grow, while toxic ones stunt your progress. The good news is that, unlike plants, you have the power to choose and cultivate the environment that serves you best. Lastly, remember that your role in your circle matters too. Be the person who uplifts, inspires, and supports others. Your energy and actions can create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to grow alongside you. So, as you move forward, pause and reflect. Who in my life helps me rise? Who challenges me to be better? How can I contribute to their growth? By surrounding yourself with people who elevate you, you create an environment of mutual support, shared growth, and lasting inspiration. Together, you'll rise higher than you ever could alone.